Hello, everyone. Ah, welcome to this intuitive energy update, as well as reveals. These reveals are from Whimsical Wednesday, last Wednesday. So I'm just going to wait a few minutes and see if anybody is going to connect here live. I hope you're all doing okay. It has been a really interesting time on this planet. So, what did I want to say? We have a new moon in Aquarius tomorrow. We currently have 6 planets in Aquarius. So, if we were ever wondering if the age of Aquarius was ever going to be born, now is the time. So, how are you all feeling? I find these days energetically, hello, thank you for being here. Welcome. I'm just going to see if I can see these comments. Oh, hey, Robin. Hi. Love to you and your little crew as well. So, energetically, things are completely. I've got this big glare here on my face. Um, Energetically, things are intense. And for those of you with children, for those of you with pets, you may have been noticing that with your kids and your fur babies. And you may notice the people around you really kind of offside. And if you're tuning into this, it's really important to remember we were born for this time. We came for this, and this is collectively, worldwide, the shift of the ages. So we didn't come here just to throw our arms up and surrender and comply with the bad guys, if you will. We came here to be beacons of light. We came here as way showers, truth speakers. And what is really important, and I feel like even a lot of awakened people, a lot of people even within the spiritual community have kind of forgotten their role and what we're here for. And we live in on a planetary body that is where everything is inverted. So, what we are sold or what we are meant to buy as truth is actually very likely the polar opposite. And the only way that you are going to see through this illusion and move beyond the deception is to go deeper within and clear out the lies and illusions that live within you. And people aren't going to like to hear that. And yet it is the truth. And so many of us have lived for years hiding and denying parts of ourselves. Hi, Allison. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're going to talk about anxiety too, but I just want to make it clear that, we can profess to be awakened and we can profess to be enlightened, and the truth is going to be in the pudding. How we live our everyday life, how we overcome perceived obstacles, how we move beyond the deceptions within our experience. And, it's not judgment, it is simply the way it is. And we're all moving through stuff. And what I feel is coming up for a lot of us at this time are like our deepest wounds. What we're dealing with on the planet is the core wound of humanity, which is this idea that we're separated from source. And the reality and the truth is that we've never been separated from source. Yet a lot of the external conditioning, a lot of the external programming has created this feeling of separation. And it's up to us to reestablish that connection within our experience. And So Allison mentioned about anxiety. Yeah, anxiety is through the roof for many people. And so the number one way to combat anxiety is, first of all, breathe deeply. And we're living in a time where everyone is, well, not everyone, a lot of people have chosen to be compliant and to mask up. And this is truly, in my opinion, it's a great crime against humanity and another lie compiled on top of all the other lies. So until we're willing to take the mask off and to reestablish connection with our breath, which is, it's the breath of life, it's source, it's spirit. And so to, impede that is really to, um, um, I want to say, disregard our connection to spirit. Nature is another great way to um, support ourselves and to get out in nature and breathe. And personally, um, many of you who will be connecting will know a part of my story, anyways, and the transition of my partner, twin flame, back in 2018 on the 21st of December. And so since that time, life goes on, right? Life does go on. And here we are, February the 10th, I believe. Yeah, February the 10th of 2021. And what I have come to understand recently is that it's almost like since he passed, it was almost like I wasn't even aware of this on a conscious level because I went right into survival mode, taking care of myself, taking care of my son, well, mostly taking care of my son and putting myself on the back burner. So what I've realized in the last 3 or 4 months is that I have had to reestablish my connection to my breath because it was almost like I had been holding my breath, waiting for the next shoe to drop, waiting for the next trauma, waiting for the next obstacle that needed to be overcome. And so I am really, really grateful that I was able to see that and to really feel into my body finally again. And geez, there was so much tension within me, and it's all about breath. And so I feel like collectively, it's like this big holding of our breath. And that's not going to move and shift things. We, as the way showers, as the pillars of light, as the pioneers of the new earth, of the new paradigm, the leaders, the teachers, it's really important that we put into practice that which we seek and wish to share with others. And for many of us, especially in North America, although it is worldwide, those of us who are here in North America, we have work to do. We have a lot of work to do. And it's not going to be an external force that brings these feelings of peace, that brings unity. And if you don't have to look far to see the external is not trying to support unity. And what is really upsetting and a little bit disturbing is that somebody like me in the current climate, someone like me could be accused of inciting. Inciting what? Peace, inciting love and self-respect. The reason I could be in trouble at this time is because the external, the governments, don't want any, don't want you to think for yourself. It's as simple as that. And so we can get really anxious getting caught up in all of this. And I can tell you, it's so important that we continue to speak our truth. It's important that we continue to share from our experience. We can't share anything outside of our experience. And so at this stage of the game in 2021, It's so important, and particularly if you're anywhere near my vintage. I know a lot of you will be younger. Um, this is important though. Don't wait until you're 50 to go out there and do your thing. You were born to do your thing. You were born to be an original. There's not a carbon copy of you out there. So what you have to bring and what you have to share can't come through another channel. You are the channel. You are the one that is here to work through your stuff. And it's not easy. I'm not gonna say it's like easy and just it's like a switch, a flip of a switch. No. It would be nice if it was like that. And I know that many people will talk about, manifesting and bringing to life. Well, yes, we can manifest very easily. And this new moon is really, I would encourage you to focus in the next 24 hours or so on your intentions, because I think we're about 25, 26 hours away from the new moon. Focus on your intentions and what you would like to bring to life. The other component of that, though, is clearing your channel so that you can actually allow the new to be born through you. If you're still holding on to guilt, shame, resentment, victim mentality, how the heck do you imagine to build or birth something new with all those old energies that are holding you back, weighing you down? And so I feel like a lot of people are coming face to face with their pain bodies at this time. And it's really important that we don't deny or hide from what we're feeling. That's not the way forward. The way forward is to face it head on, like the eagle flying into the storm. Face your fears. Those things that make you uncomfortable, face them. If you're of this mindset that you're on the left or you're on the right, you're misguided, because you are meant to be the center point, the channel. Left, right, it's all BS. And left and right, this idea that one side is right or one side is wrong, or if we don't share the same opinions, if we don't share the same beliefs, that, one is bad and one is not. What we are in the midst of is a spiritual battle. Disney put it out there, folks. Their new production is called Soul. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's so great. It's this and that." No, they're telling you the dark ones always tell the light. The dark ones, the evil ones always tell us what they're doing. Everything is hidden in plain sight, which means it's not really hidden. It's right there for those with the eyes to see. And this battle on the planet with respect to what's going on, whether we're going to take a jab or not take a jab, they are after the soul of humanity. My soul is not up for grabs. And that's a decision each of you will have to make in your experience as an eternal soul. Because if we allow ourselves to be siphoned, if we continue to allow our energy to leak and for others to yes, siphon our energy, that's entirely a personal choice. And we are at a choice point for the collective. And as we know, as eternal souls, we continue to recycle back through. And so if you are here now, if you're connected with me, if you resonate with anything that I say, it's really important that you do your inner work and continue to. It's not done. It's not done. And for many of us of the light, in service to God, here on missions for God and Mother Earth, to restore and to be the return of the Christed light incarnate. For many of us, this is, we're in really intense times. And so there is a need for solitude. For me, it's my familiar. As a Virgo, I love the hermit energy. We're in the midst of a Mercury retrograde, which again, I absolutely love and adore because it's an opportunity to go deeper within our experience and reflect. Journaling is helpful, making sure you're drinking a lot of pure, fresh water, working with your crystals. I've felt, I love you too, Tina. Oh my gosh. I love everyone, really. I don't like everyone. I do love everyone, though. Or at least I practice sending love to everyone because, what else do we have to offer? What else do we have to offer? Our heart. It's the best gift that we can give anybody. It's the best gift that we can give ourselves to honor and walk the devotional path of our heart. And it's many of us will feel like we're walking alone. And yet I can tell you we're never alone. We have had so much light activity in this house. And I feel like that's a part of why my cat has been so ridiculous. He'll sleep all day. He'll sleep all day in the sun, move spots to get another sunspot. At night, as soon as I get settled into bed, that cat is berserk for the last few nights. He knocked over one of my plants the other night. He's been running around, but he sits like fixated. Like there's a lot of spirit activity in the house. And so, and it all feels very positive. It's got the cat freaked out. It doesn't have any of us freaked out. We're only freaked out because the cat's like acting crazy at 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. It's ridiculous. So we've got so much support, and I do feel like our loved ones and ancestors in spirit are really trying to let us know that they are there for us. They're supporting us. They want us to heal and move beyond the wounds because I feel I've been doing a lot of soul messages recently, and one of the things that keeps coming through, and I tend to attract other light workers, other healers, and my guides have said you're a support system for the healer of healers. And the reality is that if you've been following along and traveling with me for any length of time, we've been talking about clearing karma. And I believe it was back in 2012 around the Lion's Gate, August of that year, that I received the message and shared it publicly that karma had been cleared for humanity. And many people thought, oh, yay, skip along, karma's cleared. Well, that meant at that point in time, we were given a clean slate. And then the work became ours to clear the karma through us. And that's where we are. And it's like, for many of us, it's this final clearing of the karmic ties that bind us to the idea of limitation, the idea of scarcity, the idea that, yes, the scarcity, not enough. There's enough. We just have to be willing to take that step to clear things once and for all so that we can step forward into the new. So if you're in North America, like me, we have this window of time now until the spring. I've been hearing that since the fall of last year. Spring, so around the 20th, 21st of March, there will be a shift, and we're going to feel the shift in our physical body. I can't say whether we're going to see it externally. It's important to note, just because we don't see something externally does not mean that things aren't happening, that things aren't shifting. And I feel like we're in this window of time where our faith is really being tested. How strong is your faith? How strong is your faith? Do you believe that love wins, that light wins, that humanity and Mother Earth ascends? And when I say ascends, this one wanted to come out. Look at that. When I say ascends, it's like heaven on earth is descending. I'm a seed of heaven on earth. What are you? Are you a seed of heaven on earth? And if that's the case, it's important to note there's so much talk about ascension, like we're all gonna float up into the sky. That's not true. That's not how it works. The ascension happens through us descending here on earth, right? Descending into our own darkness. We ascend from our darkness. We're not going to ascend where, creator is going to part the clouds, from the sky and come and lift us up. No, we're here to bring heaven on earth into reality. The proverbial Garden of Eden, if you will. The card that came out for us from the Angels, Gods, and Goddesses deck is the Angel of Abundance. This was the first card I ever received from this deck years and years ago, and I absolutely adore it. And it says, a steady flow of abundance is about to manifest. And so from where does abundance flow? I mean, there's no right or wrong answer for that. Well, actually, maybe there is. It flows from the heart. And so, what does abundance mean and feel like to each of us? It's not about the dollar signs in our bank account. The whole system we live within is fraudulent, anyways. Most of us live in debt to a fraudulent system. It's so foolish. And so we're at this point in time where we are creating our abundance through our heart, through our intentions, through our healing journey. And it's a beautiful journey. Yeah, life is full of trauma and stuff, and we're going to lose people that we love in our lives. And yet, maybe it's a shift of perception. Have we really lost or have we gained when, somebody passes? And personally, it's taken me a while to come to that. I feel like I've gained. And Frank and I have a lot of work to do. And he keeps saying to me, yes, honey, we do. Because this is what we agreed upon long before we met each other in the flesh. We agreed to be a catalyst for change in each other's life and through his transition, um, for humanity. For humanity. And we all have a role. And so, this angel of abundance, I'm just really feeling, um, look at this. This is like deeply grounded into the earth. So it's like this angel has come down to the earth, and we can look at ourselves as angels. We've come down to the earth to connect our light, to connect through our heart source here on earth, and to draw forth that abundance through our connection to Mother Earth, knowing that we are provided for and supported. And we can only get to that place when we disconnect from this idea that old billionaires really give two shits about us, because they don't. They don't. They don't. And so if you're still under that belief that, an old billionaire is the answer to all the problems on the planet, or that the old white billionaire is going to provide the solution for us, that's baloney. That is absolute baloney. So then we get this angel of communication. And this is what we need to start again. It's funny. Many of you know I spend time in nature every single day. Doesn't matter if it's snowing, if it's windy, if it's weltering hot. That's my happy place. And that's what supports me. And so this feels very healing. But what I've observed in the last year, and it's progressively become more in my face when I'm out and about walking, is the number of people who are outside, obviously, because they know the value and importance of being outside and fresh air. So many people, though, are masked up walking outside. I don't understand it. and they're masking up their children. And so we have to see this for what it is, and it's a fear agenda. This is how we stay in patterns that we're here to break, is through fear. It's like the proverbial choke collar around the neck of humanity, or we could say the proverbial noose, because we're all in the same situation. We are all currently in the same situation, and where the shift happens is through the choices we make in our daily life to disconnect. And I'm really glad I don't, and for years, I'm so grateful because I've never been one for movies ever. I think the last movie I really enjoyed was Neverending Story, and I was a kid. Um, Most of the movies I watched as a kid frightened me, whether it was sci-fi. I did like the dramas and that kind of stuff, but sci-fi really scared me. And of course, horror movies, those psychological thrillers. And I feel like the reason is because I felt the underlying, what do I want to say, deception, or the underlying truth to all of that. And so I just didn't. So for years, what I'm trying to say is for years, I've not been plugged in. It's a great movie. I want to watch it again. I keep telling my boy we have to watch it because I don't think he's ever seen it. Um, but we have to start talking to each other again, and respecting people where they are, respecting people where they are, meeting people where they are. We're not here to place judgment. We are all here. We're not on this linear. The soul is not linear. The soul is a spiral, right? And we're all at different evolutionary stages or evolutionary phases of soul development, eternal soul development. So we have to start bringing more respect to the table. I have never been so disappointed in the collective than I have been in the last year, because the fighting and the the negativity and the demeaning energy and the just blatant um, cruelty because someone thinks different, that's not acceptable. That is not acceptable. And that is not how we unify. That's how we keep the division going. And if anybody on this planet feels like, they're not a slave to the system, this has nothing to do with color of our skin, socioeconomic status, where we live in the world, because this is worldwide. We have all been lied to. And are you willing to look behind the curtain, like in The Wizard of Oz? That was a favorite movie of mine too. Truth in that, though. Lots of truth in that. Are we willing to look behind the curtain and see this theater for what it is? Because it takes courage to do that. And all these people that go, oh, you should be critically thinking. Critical thinking takes place in the heart, because it's not about thinking at all. It's about the intuitive knowing and feeling. And that's where we are. And this is what this angel of communication is really speaking to me about today. It's time to start talking to each other again. And to do so without judgment, to truly listen with your heart, not thinking about what the person's saying and how you can counteract that and drive home your point or your understanding. Come on. Come on. I'm so tired of this. And so this communication is like, we're here to share our truth through the purity of our heart. And when we speak through our heart, we are sharing healing energy with those we share with. One of my great joys every day is being able to smile at people when we're out walking. Many of them, I don't know if they're smiling back. Sometimes I see it in their eyes. But it's a great privilege to go out there to feel the support of the universe all around me to really embrace the healing energy of being in nature, deep breathing, and to smile at my fellow travelers, because I understand and I feel deeply the fear bubble that so many are living within, and it's really disheartening. And it's great because there's no fear in this household. Um, and that's a great place to be. So the angel of communication says, communicate clearly. Don't be afraid to tell it like it is. And so many of us are, because people, you speak truth and you'll get attacked. Oh, you tinfoil hatter. Oh, you conspiracy theorist. Oh, come on, knock it off with your labels. Knock it off with your labels. We're all here to share. And anything that's being shared, okay, this is a really good point. Anything that's being communicated that creates fear in your experience, you have to question whether that's truth, right? Because the truth is peaceful. The truth is hopeful. The truth is unifying. And fear only continues to keep the divide and, in fact, grow the divide. I'm here to unify, and I can guarantee you, every one of you, whether you're watching this live or whether you connect at another time, you're here to unify as well. And how do we do that? Well, like the old proverb or saying goes, healer, heal thyself. We must be willing to dive into our depths. And so there's a lot of, I'm feeling everything that's shifting right now is below the heart. So your solar plexus chakra, your power center, your sacral chakra, your creative center, your emotional center, and your root chakra. This is about your stability and foundations. And collectively, worldwide, it's a tower moment. And I'm grateful. I'm happy about that. That's exciting, because when everything falls, when all the structures, and what is falling and what will continue to fall is anything that is not based on truth and integrity, inclusiveness. There's no one on this planet that should be going without water, food, and shelter, and yet there is. But we're going to make sure there's enough of these jabs to give everyone on the planet. Bug off. Bug off. If you really care, if people really cared about planetary health and well-being, it would have been taken care of long ago by those in perceived positions of power. And why are they, what puts them in these perceived positions of power? Usually this, right? I'm sorry, that doesn't fly anymore, and that doesn't create this new earth that we're here to build, that we are here to create. And then finally, we've got this goddess of beauty and truth speaking, transformation, and this is sitting, I can't even see, oh, there we go. This is sitting on the high heart area. Okay, so we've got all this density that's clearing. Hopefully we're actively clearing what we're feeling below our heart so that we can bring our high heart online. And what my guides have shared with me is this is where the soul wants to come in and guide the human experience, because we're humans temporarily, we're souls eternally. So, the soul really wants to be the guide in this lifetime, and it's up to us. Are we willing to allow our soul to guide us? Are we willing to stand away from the crowd? I had this thing hanging in my house for years, and I'm not sure where it's gone since I've moved, but it says it takes great courage to stand with the crowd and speak up for something. It takes greater courage to stand on your own and to stand in your truth. And truth does not divide, truth unifies. Truth feels peaceful. Truth feels loving and healing. Truth is expansive. It's not constrictive and restrictive. It doesn't seek to hide. Truth wants to be shared. And so I feel this goddess is really speaking to us about, and it's funny because I was saying I was feeling the lower chakras, and these are the chakras all above. And so it feels, and many of you will have been feeling, I don't know if any of you saw, there's this video out there of the sun exploding 7 times. It's like it went offline. It was really weird. It kind of like overloaded, went down, and then boom, 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 7 times. It was in Cancun, Mexico, and it was caught on a video. If I can find it, I'll share it. It was caught on a video from a resort. I'll share it in the links below. This is amazing. This is amazing. This is how we are supported, and you could see all kinds of plasma around the sun. Things are shifting, things are changing, and we are being supported by the angels, by Creator, God, Source. We are so supported to make great shifts at this time and to build this new earth where all are fed, where all are sheltered, where all have access to clean water, where all understand their worth and value, where all feel loved. And this goddess of beauty speaks about this great transformation with all these butterflies. And how many do we have here? We have 8, 9. And you can see all this green energy around the high heart. And I always connect with the high heart as that green energy. So deep, deep healing, deep, deep healing. We saw 4 of these. Rainbow clouds. Yeah, rainbow clouds are pretty awesome too. My phone's bringing up the lines now. So the goddess of beauty says, you are a wondrous being of light. There is nothing to change or fix. And that's it. Heal, recover from, yes. Everything about you, though, is beautiful. Everything about you, though, is an emanation of Creator. So there's no mistakes. Creator doesn't make any mistakes. Right? Light is light. And I feel like for many people, it's about honoring and recognizing that you are the light. So there's been a lot going on, as I mentioned. And last week on Wednesday, I posted an everyday wisdom, intuitive, interactive thing. I've never brought the guidance through. I've been sitting with these cards for a week. Just mostly because, first of all, I haven't felt guided to. And secondly, there's been stuff I've needed to attend to within my home. And, so that's what I've done. I've honored that. So I'm going to do the reveals for you here now. So they're left, right, and left, center, and right. So we're going to start with the left. And what I felt when all of these cards, when I saw them, I don't usually reveal them to myself until, right before I bring the messages through. So the first card, so if you were guided to the left card in that image, and if you haven't seen the image and you're just seeing this now, then left, center, or right. The left card came forward, and it is the lake card, number 51. And I'm going to just jump to the right card because the right card came and it's infinity and it's number 15. So mirror image, twin soul energy. And for many people, I feel very fortunate in this lifetime. I was able to connect in the flesh with my twin. And I'm grateful that, he now works for me. Or maybe I work for him. Not sure how that goes. But Hello, my Italian sister. So the first thing that came up with these cards is this idea of the twin soul energy coming together. So these reveals are really for all of us combined. So first and foremost, we are encouraged, we are reminded that we are essentially water, flesh and bone, right? We're water, flesh and bone. And so taking care of your needs, again, back to the water. Are you drinking enough water? At a minimum, half of your body weight in ounces of water per day. Okay, so if you're 200 pounds, you need 100 ounces of water at a minimum. That's for basic internal organ functions to keep yourself looking hydrated. Water. Hot baths with Epsom salts are going to support the clearing and releasing process. I don't know about any of you, but I have been experiencing a lot of inflammation in my joints, knees, and elbows. And I do find that it can be connected with what I am taking in, what I'm ingesting. So I've had to modify and see um, if that is truly the issue. And it has been. So water baths with Epsom salts. Because the reality is, it says on this card here, you are meant to be a clear and pure channel connected with love to the divine. And we are meant to be channels of love divine, unconditional love. So love, unconditional love doesn't say, I love you, but and it doesn't do that. And if there's a but there, then you can pretty well be sure that it's not unconditional love. So water, we are meant to be channels of the divine. Our spine is that channel. And there has been a lot of, I've had to do a lot of clearing work through my spine because it has felt like there's been almost like energetic attachments to kind of block progression, to block advancement, to block expansion. So working with sound is helpful. Again, nature and the trees, they're my family. So they're very helpful. So really take care of your physical vessel and know that many of us are have, we all have a lot of soulmates. When it comes to that twin soul, that mirror reflection, um, many people will not connect with their twin in the flesh. It is not at this time. I do foresee a time, you know, down the road or upon the spiral where there are more and more twin souls incarnated together on Mother Earth to do their planetary healing work. At this time, I feel there's a lot of false twins, and we're at this time where really new age is, and the spiritual community, there's so much gimmicky stuff. It's just bullshit. I'm just like, oh my gosh. And there's so much healing that needs to be done. There's so much healing. And on the other side of this situation that we're all in, I mean, that's what hurts my heart most, because I've always been under the impression and of the mindset or heart set that we are here to do no harm. And we are here to support the next generation, so that they don't have to do healing work into their 40s and 50s, right? Except that now it's almost like, there is much work to be done. And on the other side of this, it's going to be very evident the damage and the wounds that were inflicted during this time. And so those of us who are awake, those of us who identify as healers, those of us who feel that we're here on missions, this is why it's so important that you take care of yourself at this time, because you are going to be called to step more confidently on your path of service going forward. So the middle card, the center card that came out was this beautiful seagull. And I always think of the book my dad gave me when I was about 12 years old, Jonathan Livingston Seagull. And I need to revisit that book because I really absolutely loved it. And that's what, when I connected with the seagull, when I was making this deck, that was what was coming through. And I see seagulls. Obviously, I live by the lake, so I see seagulls a lot. But they were always, at the time when this deck was being created, brought to life, they were everywhere all the time, and they'd come so close to me. And the message I got, first of all, I'm going to talk about the number 4. So we talk about this twin soul energy, the two sixes flanking the 4. The 4 is the foundations, and we've already talked about that. Foundations are following away. We're having a collective tower moment. Thank God we finally got to this point. So now we can start the rebuild. Or we can start the rebuild as soon as people decide to start the rebuild. So this 4 is about stability, creating, for us, it's about creating a stable foundation to grow upon, a stable foundation to create our life, our work upon. And the seagull's message is to set your sights higher and let your spirit soar. You have a strong and clear connection to source and all things, right? Source is in all things. And then finally, we've got this infinity card, which is another 6. And 6 is the house of Virgo. Health, family, home. How are you doing? Virgo is the natural healer of the zodiac, the earth mother, or what have I been called? The den mom. You know, and this is about, first of all, working with your crystals. I have been really fortunate enough to find some really super exciting pebbles at the beach. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And there's pyrite in it. I'm not sure if you can see it, but there is like flecks of pyrite in it, that fool's gold. And, you know, I feel like that I said that. It's like, this is the journey of the sacred fool. It's not to be taken too seriously. We take life too seriously. We take our thoughts too seriously. You know, we take the opinions of others too seriously. And does being so serious support our forward movement or our upward spiral, or does it support continued descension, continued you know, the downward end of the spiral? Yet it's really important, because the spiral, as deep as it is as expansive, as high as it is. So working with your crystals. 6 is also about our life path, our divine path of service. What did you come here to do? Are you doing that? And if not, why not? And if you are, bravo, well done, keep going, keep going. This card says you are an eternal being of light with no beginning and no end. You are infinite and whole, and your potential is unlimited. Tap into the light as it shines within you. And this goes back to that idea that we must be willing to shine our light inside. Because many good people are hiding within their shadow. Hiding within their shadow. Not wanting to face their truth, not wanting to do anything to change anything. If we don't change, if nothing changes, nothing changes. And the one constant in life, in human form, is change, right? Nothing stays the same. We change with every breath. Whether we're taking big, deep breaths that are nourishing and supportive, or whether we're doing these shallow little breaths into the top part of our lungs, which, okay, so this is important to note. And then I didn't mean for it to be so long. And then I'm just going to pull a few cards for some affirmations for us. So this is really important to note about our breath. So when most people breathe only into their lungs, and actually only into the top half of their lungs. So most people don't have a belly that rises and falls. Most people aren't even connected with their bellies. And if you tell them, um, to inhale, like, and touch their belly, it's hardly rising. So when we live with our breath in our lungs, we're in the sympathetic nervous system, which is fight or flight. Right? Trying to catch our breath. And this is fear inducing, right? Oh my gosh. Can't catch my breath. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Add a mask on top of that, and it's going to be this continual state of anxiety, this continual state of almost like panic, right? And when I work with people, whether it's in healing sessions or yoga and meditation classes, whatever, breath is the number one thing that we focus on, because you want to get your diaphragm moving. Your diaphragm is this big muscle underneath your ribs, and it's meant to inflate. It's like a balloon. It's meant to inflate with your in breath, and it's meant to deflate with your out breath. And so if we can get people breathing into the diaphragm, then we shift gears from the sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight, into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is feelings of calm and peace, relaxed energy. So if you are one that is having anxiety, oh my God. Okay, so if you're one that is having anxiety, breath would be the good place to start, the number one place to start. And of course, turning off the TV, and even these social media platforms now. It's just so, I mean, I don't know about you, but my news feed has changed, and I hardly see any of the people that I would be loving to see in my news feed. I get all this propaganda bullshit. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. Not at all. Um, so, from the Conscious Spirit Oracle deck, Conscious Spirit Oracle, it's this deck. From this deck, 3 cards came forward, and I think they're absolutely perfect to close out this message. So the first card that came out is the sacral chakra, and this is the place where we hide our own shadow. This is where our shadow hides, in the sacral chakra, right? It hides down there deep, deep in our body. And when we've got a lot of repressed and suppressed hidden emotions that we haven't wanted to accept or deal with, this is where they go in the body. And then it manifests as hip pain, sacral lumbar pain, and anything below that area, right? It could even manifest as feminine issues, so like really painful periods, that kind of stuff. There could be some warped sexual energy in that space too, and these emotions and stuff that we're denying. If we're engaging sexually with someone, then they can be triggering. It's almost like there's hooks and stuff in this area. So until we clear that space, we will always be triggered by those that we connect with in that way. So this is why it's really important to understand the sacredness of our sexuality. And, the hippies were all about peace, love, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and peace and free love, and all of this. And yeah, the sacral is a big place. And women, as women, it's a really key place that we need to clear out. And again, years and years ago, probably back around 2012, I was given some guidance on how to clear that space, working with your own hands to clear and massage that space. And when you actually get into that level of healing, you will actually feel where there are energetic blocks within that sacred space in your body. So it's really important that we clear this space. For anyone who is here and would like to be a part of another group, I haven't been very active over there in a week or so either, but I'm sharing more things over there with women, sisters supporting sisters, and I'll paste a link down in the comments below for that group as well if you'd like to join us over there. And maybe I'll talk about some of this. I'll do a guided meditation, if you will, or guided clearing on how you can clear that in the privacy of your own home. So yes, so this is all about our emotional body, the sacral chakra. But look at this. What's most beautiful about this is the number 10, which is actually a 1. This is a new beginning. And so once we do our work, because we have to do our part, right? Oh, karma's cleared. Woohoo! Yay! I don't have to do anything anymore. Yeah, you do. Now is where you have to actually get busy. And so this is about a new beginning on how we deal with things emotionally, face them head on, a new beginning on how we create what we're bringing to life. This is our time, folks. This is our time. And, many of us are going to have to go deeper within in order to bring our gifts forth. So the message or the affirmation, so this could be a good one to work with. Write it out. I feel comfortable in my own body and I'm sensitive to other people's feelings. And remember, I was saying earlier, is like meet people where they are with an open and loving heart and with respect, right? Being disrespectful doesn't speak about, the idiocy of someone else. It's a reflection of you, right? So meet people where they are with an open heart and always practice respect and kindness. Okay? I feel comfortable in my own body and I'm sensitive to other people's feelings. And then the next card that came out, which is perfect, is this integration card, number 44. I always connect that to Frank and the angels. And it was like dodging me for a long time before he even passed. And I see it everywhere. I see it every day. And this, and I usually see 444, which would come to 12. This is about, okay, so it's like, how can I give an example? Okay, so you're weightlifting. You're weightlifting and you want to do bench presses, right? You want to do a bench press. So you're on your bench. You've got, you haven't done bench pressing before, right? So you start small, right? So you go 20 pounds per side. So you're pressing 40 pounds. Oh, whew, feels good, right? Feels good. Next day you come back to the gym. All right, I did 40 pounds per side yesterday. Today I'm going to do 80. Or no, I did 20 pounds per side. Today I'm going to do 40. Well, folks, it's progress. You've got to be a master at the 40 pounds, right? You got to master that where it becomes easy and then you go to the next level. Okay, so this integration card it's the same spiritually. And I feel like many of us are being guided back. And that's why I said here in North America until the spring, it's really important you take that solitary or solitary time to yourself and focus on your physical vessel and how you can, because when we clear things out, then we must, as new comes in, we must integrate. We cannot share. We cannot support anyone's healing journey until we have integrated and mastered that which we seek to share. Otherwise, it lacks integrity, right? Those of you who know me know integrity is a big thing for me. And oh, look at this. We had the seagull, which was 4. There's that 444. And then we have this as 44, integration. So take all the time you need to integrate, to establish your daily practices, to the choices you make, the again, the information and guidance that's coming through, really sit with it. You don't have to go out there and, put it all out there right away. Really take some time to become the master in your life of that which is in your life to support you. And this says here, I combined body, mind, and soul to lift all of humanity into a new dimension. And that is the most important work we can do. The work that we do on our own, solo, with no one around, no one knows what we're doing. This is the best. This is the most important work we can do, and the greatest way that we can support humanity. And I do that work every day out in nature. That's why I just sit under trees. That's why I go down to the lake and I do ceremony at the lake and I breathe with the rhythm of the lake and I send love, waves and waves of love out to humanity, to the collective, conscious or unconscious. And finally, and I feel like this is a perfect way to wrap up this long message. Well, at least I don't have to do another one, energy update. Get it all done at once, and then I get to go outside and play. But the next one takes us right back to the beginning and what I was sharing about spirit guides. Number 25. 25 is a 7, our physical body. It is through our physical body, and breath. Again, breath is spirit, air is spirit, right? So we breathe spirit in. We're breathing in our own spirit, the spirit of life. And so this integration happens through our physical body, through the 7 chakras. There's way more than 7 chakras within the physical body. When we speak about 7 chakras, we're talking about chakras 101. And for the average person, that is, if you relate it to the spine, they will understand that as energy centers. And so that's what we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on our channel. We're going to focus on our spine. We're going to focus on our light, and we're going to shine our light down into that shadow. And what you're going to probably find in that shadow is a child sitting there in the dark, your inner child sitting there afraid in the dark, that if anybody really saw them, they wouldn't be liked, and so they continue to hide. Come on, beautiful child of light. Everything about you is lovable, even those parts of yourself that you don't love or accept. And your love and acceptance to all that you are is the key at this time, the key to birthing new earth and a whole new paradigm where everyone planet wide understands that they are perfect and divine. They're not struggling and suffering to get water or food or a roof over their head. Come on. And remember, it's important to remember that we cannot teach empathy and compassion. You can't teach something that is our natural state. It is our natural state. And so if people don't feel empathetic or compassionate to the plight of other people, left, right, upside down, backwards, whatever, I don't care about all of that. If we don't have compassion for other people, then we have really disconnected from our own essence. We have disconnected from our own heart, our own humanity. And this is the work that those of us here as healers, way showers, beacons, that's what we're here to do. We are here to support the reestablishing of connection to the heart and to support humanity in reestablishing connection to their spiritual essence, which lives beyond the physical vessel, which lives beyond time and space. And we have a lot of beautiful work to do. And I'm very hopeful and very optimistic about and I know that love has already won. The light wins. We didn't come to repeat cycles of our forefathers, our grandparents and great-grandparents. We didn't come to live within those cycles of trauma and pain. We came to break free from them. And I have the utmost respect for you and your ability to walk the courageous path of your heart and to continue to shine your light within so that you can shine brighter out there and be that beacon. The message on this card is I open my heart to my guides and trust in the wisdom they share with me. Wisdom of the heart. This is where universal wisdom, this is where creator's wisdom, this is where your soul wisdom flows from, your beautiful, beautiful heart. So if you're still here, thanks for sticking with me. I know it was long. I wasn't intending that. I really hope to connect with you all again soon and maybe get back into doing this, making this of a more regular thing. Like I said, I'll drop links down below for that sun, the flashing that I saw of the sun yesterday, as well as the sister support group. As well, I am offering, I'm doing soul messages right now. I'm still finishing up yearlies. And so I do have a handful of spots each week for soul messages. So if that sounds like something that you would be interested in at this time, or an intuitive healing session, I have my healing room set back up here. If you would like to work with me or feel like I can support you in a more expanded way, check out the links below or my website, lisalyle.com. Give me a thumbs up. Thank you for all the comments. Lauren, Allison, Lauren, Dana, Tina, I love you all. You are, gosh, you're really, your support and love of me really is heartwarming. And, you know, I don't want my eyes to leak here now. So I'm going to say, I love you all. Thank you so much. Enjoy your day and take good care of yourself. You can, and you're worth it. Until next time, focus on your light and shine, shine, shine. Oh, how do I do this? How do I do this? Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh dear. I don't know how to finish this off. Oh my gosh. My little dog's coming here. I'm still here. If anyone's still here. All right. I know, Luna. I don't know how to do this. These new things on Facebook. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, folks. I'm going to see if I can. How do we do this? Somebody help. Oh my God, Luna, stop. All right, so. Okay, let's see. Okay, so. Okay. Okay, well, I'm just gonna see.